Hello, happy Veterans Day. I'm excited for you to join us for a special presentation in honor of our nation's veterans. We'll also take a moment to celebrate the achievement and launch of our new BraunAbility Accessible Traverse. Let's start with celebrating our own BraunAbility family, which includes veterans and family members of veterans from nearly every branch of the military. Check out this list of our BraunAbility heroes. To our men and women in uniform serving today and to those who have served in the past, we honor you today and every day for your bravery, sacrifices, and dedication to our country. We thank you. You've often heard me say that we're in the business of changing lives. Veterans represent a third of the customers we serve in our consumer wave business. And in the last 5 years alone, BraunAbility accessible vehicles have changed the lives of over 7,000 veterans and their families. Today, you're going to hear from one such customer and two of our partners who share our vision of changing lives. First up is Lori and Ted Hollander. They are two founders of the nonprofit Help Our Military Heroes, which helps service-injured veterans afford wheelchair accessible vehicles. Next, retired U.S. Army Major Tammy Phipps. She's the co-founder of the Driver Rehabilitation Center of Excellence, who helps wounded veterans learn to drive again. Officer Phipps and Help Our Military Heroes have been changing lives for years. We're grateful for the work they do to help veterans regain their independence. And in recognition of that work, they've previously been awarded the Ralph W. Braun Spirit of Ability Award. Help Our Military Heroes will soon deliver their 150th vehicle and first SUV to our final guest, retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Jack JD Williams. Sergeant Williams was injured in Afghanistan, and he joins us to share his story and what getting back behind the wheel will mean to him. And as you guessed, he'll be receiving the brand new BraunAbility Traverse. It's been a difficult year, but I'm proud of how our company has come together to keep moving forward and to continue fulfilling our mission. Today, let's just take the time to celebrate the impact that each one of you has every day. Remind ourselves of the people our products are serving and share our appreciation for our military heroes. I hope you enjoyed this special presentation.
Hello, BraunAbility. Hello from Easton, Connecticut, headquarters of Help Our Military Heroes. Welcome to Ted and Lori Hollander's basement. We are so grateful, first of all, to be here in this virtual hello. But we're really sad because we got really close to being able to leave Connecticut, drive out, and spend this day with you all. So here we are. We're going to make the best of it, right? 8 months into a global pandemic, and we're learning to make the best of things. So here's our story. Back in 2009, we incorporated as Help Our Military Heroes, a 501c3 military nonprofit. But our story doesn't begin there. It begins in 2006 when both my boys went into military service. One into the Marine Corps as an enlisted infantryman, which was his dream, his goal, his desire. And my younger son, Matthew, who received an appointment to the United States Military Academy at West Point. Upon attending a football game at West Point, I witnessed a double amputee, combat wounded, receiving a wheelchair accessible minivan. Recognizing one of the women on the field, I sought her out, found out what was happening and how I could make a difference. And so taking this back to the place where I worked, which was a gym, teaching spin classes down in the basement. My friend Mary Beth and I started to bring Spinathon and our one main fundraiser to helping support a mission that would help with these vans. Fast forward a couple of years, I met Ted, we got married, we incorporated. 2009, I caught you up pretty fast.
Hi, I'm Ted Hollander, co-founder of Help Our Military Heroes and Lori's better half. We first heard about Braun back in 2010 when we were working with Sergeant Carlos Evans at Walter Reed. The owner of the mobility dealership we were working with had 25 plus years experience in the mobility world, and he taught us everything we know now about conversion minivans. While teaching us, he also showed us the various different options that were available in the conversion world, which we said, what's the gold standard? And immediately he replied, BraunAbility. Those are the vans you want. He said they have the best products, they have the best design, and he said they are the most reliable vehicles on the road. So that was it for us. The first van we gave away was a Braun conversion Toyota Sienna minivan to Sergeant Evans. And here it is 10 years later and 149 modified vehicles later. We've actually given away 135 conversion minivans, and out of those 135, 119 were Braun, which is a true testament to your products, your skill, your team, and we couldn't have done what we do without you. So thank you very much. We look forward to the next 150.
So in 2010, we met our very first van recipient, Sergeant Carlos Evans, United States Marine Corps, hailing from Puerto Rico. Sergeant Evans stepped on an IED, lost both legs above the knee and a hand. As a triple amputee with a young wife and 2 young children, he didn't know that nonprofits existed and that Americans wanted to reach out and help, and nonprofits that were going to support these wheelchair accessible vehicles were there for him and his family.
So we couldn't be more excited to see the Chevy Traverse roll off the line. We've been doing this for 10 years, and throughout those 10 years, at least 25% of the people we help out say, boy, I wish I could get an SUV, but I guess I'll go with a van. We've always had to tell them that unfortunately there really aren't any side ramp entry SUVs that meet our standards, certainly nothing that we would recommend to them until now. So we couldn't be happier to present the first 2021 Traverse SUV that's going to come off the line, and to give it to an HOMH recipient, Staff Sergeant Jack JD Williams, a triple amputee, who you'll see very shortly. We can't wait to see him behind the wheel, and we can't wait to see many more of our future recipients behind the wheel.
So up next is retired Army Major Tammy Phipps, coming to you from Driver Rehabilitation Center of Excellence in Chantilly. Thank you all so much. Happy Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of the holidays, and we'll see you after the new year. God bless, and thank you all again so much.
So in 1993, I enlisted in the Army National Guard for the state of South Dakota, and became the first female actually in a combat unit in South Dakota about a year after I had been in the Guard. I spent a total of 9 years enlisted. At the same time, I was going through my professional degree and training in occupational therapy. Once I received my degree and my license, I was eligible for direct commission in the Army Reserve. I went ahead and did that and was commissioned for a few years when September 11th happened, and knew that eventually I would be called to stay or to go to war, and that happened in 2007. So in June of 2007, I packed my bags and went to Iraq. In the fall of 2008, after my tour in Iraq, I came to Washington, D.C. and built and ran the first driver rehab program in the entire Department of Defense. We went from Washington, D.C. to the National Naval Military or Medical Center, and we did 4 years there. I've seen well over 400 wounded warriors during my time at Walter Reed. But what was really even more exciting is I got to meet Lori and Ted Hollander, as well as Mary Beth Vandegrift, in 2010 at Walter Reed, and they came in and said, we want to help veterans bridge the gap that out-of-pocket expenses to purchase wheelchair accessible vehicles. It just so happened that on that day, one of my veterans that I knew would benefit, in fact needed, a wheelchair accessible van was Marine Sergeant Carlos Evans. And Carlos Evans came in, I put them on the spot, and I said, I want you to meet Carlos. And that was the beginning of our journey of working together to get veterans into wheelchair accessible vehicles. And so that was life-changing for him. Carlos is a triple amputee, and he was now able to drive his kids, his family, go to work, and continue his therapies, of course, at Walter Reed. All right, so I am super excited to introduce you to JD Williams. JD is an Army veteran, injured over 10 years ago, losing 3 limbs. JD has a truck, loves his truck, but unfortunately he can't drive his truck. And JD hasn't driven independently and not felt comfortable for those 10 years. So we were lucky enough to cross paths and do his driver training again, get him an appropriate equipment prescription, and we took the opportunity to talk to him about other options in addition to his truck. And we introduced him first to the Braun Toyota Sienna. He said, man, it's a nice looking van, but I'm not a van guy. He really was very interested in the ease and accessibility. So we were so excited to introduce him to the next option that has just came out, and that's the Chevy Traverse.
Hello, my name is Staff Sergeant JD Williams. I served 7 years in the United States Army with the 101st Airborne Division. I joined the military in 2006 right out of high school from Montana. Growing up in Montana, I always knew there was a lot of adventure out there. When you're in Montana, you just, appreciate adventure in the mountains and all that kind of stuff. And all the things that I was into at the time, I felt like, I could do in the military and see the world. And once 9/11 happened, I knew it was my calling to join the military and fight for this great nation. So when I joined the military, I signed up to be an 11 Bravo infantryman. I was stationed with 1st 502nd Infantry Regiment, and I was a part of a unit called Alpha Company Hard Rock Element, and I deployed to Iraq in 07-08. After a 15-month deployment in Iraq, I came home, got married, and had a beautiful little girl, and was sent to Afghanistan 6 months after my daughter was born. I had a lot of pressure on me. I was in a infantry scout platoon, which you have to try out and work real hard at. You can't fail any schools or anything like that. And I went over there as a recon squad leader. I made it there 6 months before I was wounded, and we were in 80 plus gunfights, and constantly wondering, like, every single day, like looking at your guys and briefings before we rolled out, like, who's it going to be today? And on October 9, 2010, I was caught in a complex ambush in southern Kandahar, Afghanistan, Zari district, and I stepped on a pressure plate IED, which resulted in the loss of both of my legs and my right arm. It was definitely traumatic, seeing, knowing what my body looked like, before, and then, coming to the realization that, I just stepped on an IED and both my legs were completely gone. My right arm was completely gone. I thought I was split in half at the time, and, we were still in a gunfight, pretty kinetic gunfight. And, in those moments, you just kind of, your whole life flashes before your eyes. You don't know what to think, you don't really know what's going on, but you start thinking about everything that you've done in your entire life, like, I grew up in these beautiful mountains of Montana, and I have a beautiful wife and daughter, and I might not see any of these things again. So it was just kind of one of those things when you start thinking about the things that you love the most, you start trying to fight a little harder to survive, and that's exactly what I was doing. I had both my lungs collapsing on me, and I was turning blue, and got medevaced, and within arriving to Kandahar Air Force Base, I flatlined, and they performed a cardiac massage, which brought me back to life. I ended up attending the Center for the Intrepid, and there I was learning to walk in stubbies and long legs and using a prosthetic arm. In 2016, I started an organization called Mohawk Outdoors. It's a nonprofit organization. The reason I started it was right after I got wounded in 2010. One of the key factors in my healing process was the great outdoors, being able to go on hunting trips and stuff. And I wanted to be able to help not just wounded warriors, but all combat veterans. Anybody that served in a combat zone, I wanted to put them on the same adventures that I was going on to heal them through the great outdoors. So being able to drive, a lot of times before I might be guiding a warrior on a trip, but I have to find somebody else that has to sit in the vehicle with us and drive us to these different locations again. And being able to, just have another warrior hop in a vehicle with me, and we're cruising up and down the mountains and talking about, our military services and the things that we went through, stuff that, we relate more, that we can talk about that most people don't understand. This has been so impactful for me to be able to drive and show these guys, what the great outdoors are all about. To be able to get behind an SUV that I can be able to drive my family and, myself places to, having that freedom is just so amazing. And it's that big stepping stone in my life to where I don't feel so defeated anymore. Being able to take my daughter to school, being able to go Christmas shopping for my family without them seeing what kind of presents I got them. There's so many things. I can't even put it into words, like how amazing it'd be, and to conquer what I've been struggling to do these past 10 years. I would like to help our military heroes, Tammy Phipps with DRCE and their entire staff and crew, and BraunAbility and everybody involved. Everything you guys are doing is just not just for myself, but all these military heroes is God's work. And I believe that God gives us all a gift, and what we become in life is a gift we give back to God. And what you guys are doing is God's work, and I can't thank you guys enough. God bless you guys, God bless America, and God bless the great outdoors.
On this Veterans Day, the people of BraunAbility recognize all Americans who have served in the nation's armed forces. To Staff Sergeant JD Williams, the 101st Airborne Division, the Screaming Eagles, thank you for your service to a grateful nation. Your commitment to service continues through Mohawk Outdoors, and that is inspiring to us. We know that you'll have many great days in big sky country on big hunts, driving your brand new Chevy Traverse. To Ted and Lori Hollander, founders of Help Our Military Heroes, and to Major Tammy Phipps, you have dedicated your lives to the ideal of no one left behind. And all of us at BraunAbility salute the tremendous time and effort you put into serving our nation's heroes and their family members year after year after year. Special thanks also go out to the people of Chevrolet for believing in the promise of a wheelchair accessible Traverse. We appreciate the exemplary level of technical support that you provided to our vehicle development team and for the way you got behind our big idea. Thanks to the team at Chevy, Staff Sergeant Williams and thousands of wheelchair users across North America will find new roads behind the wheel of the award-winning Traverse, where 5,000 pounds of towing capacity is standard. And lastly, to the BraunAbility Traverse vehicle development team, thank you for your hard work and dedication to inventing products that are novel, that are useful, and that are desirable to our customers, for giving our customers the choices they seek in a vehicle, for taking a swinging door and turning it into a powered slider, or creating an SUV that has as much usable space as a minivan. That spirit of innovation is in our DNA. And this year, Mobility Management Magazine has recognized your achievement with an award for engineering and design excellence. So congratulations to all. Thanks again to our special guests, and happy Veterans Day, everyone.